Hello everyone, good morning. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Antonius Kevin and today I'm going to present to you a comparison between two countries in Southeast Asia. They are Indonesia and Malaysia. Today's comparison will be divided into four differences. First, we have GDP or gross domestic product per year, and then second, we have population in general, and then third is about age distribution, and at last but not least, fourth is about land area for each country. So, without any further ado, let's jump into the first chart. First, here we have the GDP graph. This graph shows us how much money made by each country for the last 5 years. The horizontal axis shows us the year, and the vertical axis stands for the amount of the money in billion US dollar. In this bar chart, we have two columns, the blue bar and the yellow bar. The blue bar represents Indonesia's GDP for each year since 2015 to 2019, while the yellow one represents Malaysia's GDP. For the red line here, it shows us the trend line that describes the growth rate of each country's GDP. The point that I want you to remember is that in 5 years, Indonesia's GDP is always more than 3 times than Malaysia's GDP, even though they are in the same growth rate percentage. The question is why, and the following slides will tell you the answer. And then second, here is the population chart. This pie chart describes how many people live in Indonesia and Malaysia. The right one, which is the blue color, is Indonesia's population, and the yellow one on the left is Malaysia's population.
Indonesia has more than 270 million people, whereas Malaysia only has around 32 million people.
The key point of this chart is there are almost 9 times more people living in Indonesia compared to Malaysia. And then the third one is about age distribution chart. This pie graph compares the age structure of Indonesia and Malaysia. The right graph stands for Indonesia's distribution, while the left one shows us Malaysia's age distribution. Note that both countries has almost the same percentage of the productive age, which is around 35%. But the main point that you should note is that the same percentage here represents different values for each country. For Indonesia with 98 million and Malaysia with around 13 million. And here we are, at last but not least, for the land area chart. Here we got a chart that explains how capacious is Indonesia compared to Malaysia. This chart brought to you on square kilometer scale. The blue pie here stands for Indonesia's land area, while the yellow stands for Malaysia land area. What do you notice at the first time? Yes, of course, it is about how Indonesia is somehow much bigger and wider than Malaysia. So keep it in your mind until the end of the session. And here's some questions about this comparison. First, which country has more GDP per year? And then second one, which country has more population? And then third, which country has more productive society? And last, number 4 is about which country has bigger land. And at last, to sum up, here are some conclusions as the answer for the questions before. First is about GDP. Indonesia's GDP is around 3 times more than Malaysia's GDP, but they are in the same ratio of percentage. And the question is why this could happen. And as the first answer is about the population. Indonesia has over 9 times people more than Malaysia, which this number is very big. And then the second one, age distribution. which Indonesia's productive age population is 7 times more than Malaysia, which means also that Indonesia can be concluded as more productive than Malaysia. And in the land area, Indonesia is over 6 times than Malaysia, which this also means that Indonesia has more natural resources than Malaysia. And yeah, here we are at the end of this session. The conclusion for this comparison is that no country is actually better than the other country. Each country has its own power and also its own weakness. So I hope this comparison can be more information and you can gain some positivity from this information. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Bye.